District Board of Trustees. Could we have a roll call, please?
Conan, here. Deal,
Here.
Friedman, Harkins,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Hamblin,
Here.
Wallers.
Here. Terry won't be with us this evening. He had some procedures last week and is trying to lay low.
He's okay?
But he's okay. Anyway, with that, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Okay. Yes, Oswego Public Library District exists to provide quality library service which will effectively meet the informational, educational, and recreational needs of district residents of all ages, with a special emphasis on supplying popular materials, providing reference services, and assisting students of all ages in meeting their educational needs. At this point in time, we're going to go to public comment. We'll now receive public comment concerning items on the agenda as well as communications and reports from citizens, representatives of other agencies. Such comments should not include discussion of personnel matters, which should be brought directly to the attention of our director. Board meeting is a meeting held in public. It's not a meeting of the public. It is a prerogative of the president of the board to recognize members of the audience. If you are recognized to address the board, you are asked to stand, identify yourself, and to address the whole board. Your comments are limited to 3 minutes. Julie.
Hi.
Hello again.
Hi there. You put it at the front now, not the end. Hi, first of all. It's good to see you guys. I don't really have anything new to say, just here kind of with the same request, same message that I've had for a while, but I was hoping that you guys had a chance to think about what I had shared last month. I was going to write you a follow-up email, and I decided not to just because we only had 3 weeks in between the last month and this one, so with the meetings. But I have been working in that time on some really practical ideas that I think could move us toward a solution to what I've been talking about. So I hope you know by now, I'm not just here to complain or give you guys a hard time, but I really do want to just take a good look at it and see if there's something that we could do a little bit better. I did reference this last time, but I have been looking at a couple other libraries in Illinois, in our area, and tried to just see how they handle some different things. And actually some of them are doing really creative things that are neat ideas, and they're working, and they've been working for a few years. So anyway, I don't know if there's an opportunity maybe to get together with some of you or go over some of those ideas in detail, but I just think that it's a worthy conversation when it comes to just keeping our kids safe and making sure that the material that they're seeing is appropriate and okay with their parents. So really that's pretty much it, but I would love feedback. Like I like all of you, and I'm happy to come and stand and talk with you, but I really am looking more for, I'd love to work with you. I'd love a conversation. I'd love to brainstorm together and try to move this forward and just see if there's maybe somewhere where we can land where everybody would feel heard and safe. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just speaking from my heart. I'm talking to you like I would talk to my family right now, but that's really my heart in doing this. So I would welcome responses, emails, whatever. I would welcome them. I'd be more than happy to come in for a meeting or answer questions or just dialogue. If you're not sure you agree, that's totally okay. I'm happy to talk about that with you and hear your side too. I just really would like to work together. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Okay, moving on to approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular session minutes and technology committee minutes from February 25th, 2026.
Second. Thank you. Any comments or questions from anyone? If not, roll call, please, Brent.
Deal,
Yes.
Harkins,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Walters,
Yep.
Conan, yes.
Correspondence. Krista?
Yes, you will notice I changed up how we're doing correspondence. It's now included in your packet. It starts on page 10. I surveyed some other libraries to see how they do correspondence, and they said it's just generally a lot easier if everybody has a copy of the item being discussed. So if you want to review, there's 3 public comment cards, and then that we had gotten in our comment boxes this month.
You may have to interpret some of
Let's
the
see.
handwriting.
The very first one, on the one with 2, is saying that he does not like that you can't save things to our U drive on the public computers. That is actually done on purpose. We don't want people downloading and saving stuff on our computers, so, we are aware that that's a thing. And
It's not an error, it's just,
It's supposed to be that
you
way.
have to do a file save as instead of
Yes.
right-clicking on it.
The other comment next to it is saying that they're very impressed with the new games for PlayStation 5, Switch 2, etc. They say they're very pricey, but he appreciates being able to check them out from the library. Keep up the good work on that. And on page 11, they are requesting, we have a makerspace with equipment like laser printers, heat press, sublimation printer, and a DFT printer, which I looked it up. It is some sort of like digital file transfer, I think is what that stands for, that you can use to make like really complicated t-shirts and things like that. So I am thinking maybe 2027, we would turn the old boardroom into a makerspace, and these could be some potential ideas depending on what we can do.
Good.
Yep.
Love it.
Now, if I bring my flash drive with me and put it in the computer, can I save it that?
Yes, it just confuses people because it looks like it's an error. Like say you're in a web document or something and you try to right-click, it's gonna pop up a warning saying invalid command or something like that. You click OK, but then there's a download button. If you hit the save, it'll save it either on a flash drive or you can save it to, we have a temporary folder called the U drive, which basically formats itself every time the computer reboots. So in the event that somebody leaves files, personal information on the computers, they get wiped out immediately. So that we're not sharing people's stuff with other people that don't have, shouldn't have access. But it's been that way for years, yes, and we don't have a better solution.
So people can still download documents to like a Google Drive file or, yeah, like their own personal
Yeah.
space, yeah. Okay.
That's it?
That's it?
Okay. Any questions for Krista? If not, could I have a motion to accept, no, we don't have to accept correspondence.
No.
Moving on, financials.
Page 12, you'll see our fund balances for the, where we're at for all of our different funds this year. It is not going to be too much different than last month because we've only had 3 weeks of bills, and typically most of our stuff comes in after the 15th of the month. So not a whole lot of change there as far as that. And the same if you look through the different funds, page 13 to page 19, I believe. No, to page 21. Again, you're just not going to see a lot of change from last month because we've had very little come in or out in any of those.
Okay, could we have a motion on the financials?
Make a motion to approve fund balance and revenue and expense reports.
I second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Wallers,
Yes.
Conan, yes. Deal,
Yes.
Harkins,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Hamblin.
Yes. Accounts payable.
Starting on page 22, you'll see all the different bills we've had come in since our last meeting. Again, it's very light, just because we haven't had much time in between our meetings. A few things you'll notice, on page 23, we are having a program with the Fox River Academy for a guitar concert coming up this spring. We have Incredibats is another program coming where they're gonna have live bats, and you learn about bats and their habitats. Page 24, Real Stories, it's a pop radio wars program we're having a presenter for. And then we're having a Bob Fosse program as well coming up. Otherwise, most of our bills are just gonna be your standard, either book orders or water, gas, those type of things. Unless there's any questions.
Could I have a motion on the accounts payable bills, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 2026 bills in the amount of $305,470.
I'll second.
Second, thank you. Questions or comments? What are the options? I'm looking for a book. And last night I looked at a book for somebody and it had 11 copies and 27 holds. That means I'm not going to get it for a while. So I can go online and look for the book on, we've got two services, Hoopla is one. and
Libby.
And Libby.
Libby, that's the other one.
Yes. But if there's, you said there's 11 copies and like 20 some holds, so you'd probably get it in about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
What's Libby? I don't have that one.
It used to be called Overdrive.
Overdrive. It's basically like, instead of Hoopla where you're just paying into a service and you get whatever they offer you, you have no choice. Libby, we actually have staff who go in and select the books. Some of them are only for our library and some of them are shared with other libraries. But there are hold lists on that, so like your most popular title, you might have to put yourself in hold and they'll just alert you when it's ready for you.
And that one's on pay per use, like, so we pay for a certain amount and maybe only we can have it for 26 times and we have to repurchase it. Well, we don't.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah, because on Hoopla, there's some books that I'm looking for that I'm like,
We don't have.
why don't they have this book?
And if you are looking for a particular book, you can put a request in and they can buy it on Libby, but we can't buy things on Hoopla.
right.
Got it. And is Libby a different app?
Yes, it's its own separate app.
So if she can't find it, she should call in and,
Yeah, there's a comment box on the website, you can put in a book request, purchase request, and just specify you want an ebook or audio book or whatever.
okay, I'll tell her. Did we vote yet? I don't know. Okay. No more questions or comments? Roll call, please, Jim.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Hamblin,
Yes.
Wallers,
Yes.
Conan, abstain, Deal,
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Very good. Director's report.
Okay, that is going to be on page 27. Let's see, you'll see in there my notes. We have an eagle statue. It is made out of concrete, I think. It's part of the Goose Chase Scavenger Hunt that the village of Oswego is hosting. They are actually starting that over spring break. They're going to have flags all over different businesses and different locations in Oswego. And you basically check in with your phone and you earn points by going to various places and doing various activities. And then people are gonna win like the $250 celebration t-shirts and different type of prizes like that. So we did get one of these statues. She had said we needed to keep it indoors for like a month so it could cure. And then we'll have to look at a place outside. I might have to talk to the garden club about where could this big statue go. out there. Below that, you'll see I just made a list of a bunch of the different meetings I've been to. We did have our staff kickoff meeting for the strategic plan. We met with Dewberry regarding the possibility of design for the third building. We have a follow-up meeting coming along with Dewberry, and FQC will be next week, and the Village of Montgomery will be there too, just to make sure we're all on the same page with that. If you did not see, we had an article in the Ledger about our new vehicle. And he is always very nice to talk to. And let's see, we also had, met with Train to review their contracts, and we met with Figgins to review their contracts. And everything there is pretty standard. On the second page, a little note, our Assistant Director for Adult Services, Don Eccles, wrote a grant for the Illinois Humanity Grant that is going to be getting a presenter that goes along with the Illinois America 250 theme, which is We the People. And the grant will pay for a special presentation. It looks very interesting. It's all about the French Cajun influence that is in part of Illinois.
Cool.
One other note, I have a couple other notes here. Part of the discussion with Figgins was the couple special projects that I thought I'd pass the pictures along just so everyone can kind of see. One of them is to put kind of like a field of rock on that cliff edge where a bunch of it is eroding away from the heavy downspout pouring we get. And the other one is to extend those bags of, I think it's soil, right? Soil bag wall that we're making. We're gonna extend it another 24 feet. So a couple special projects that will be coming up this spring. And the last thing I was going to mention was the, on page 29, we got a grant for $14,508 from the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley. This is one, Melissa and I are not sure if it usually comes every year or every other year, but it's designated to support libraries along the Fox River. So since we had to drastically cut our budgets last year because of the federal funding cuts, we would like to put that money to some special furniture in the teen area at Oswego, which is currently just made up of leftovers from the other departments. Make a better kind of study space for the teens. Any questions?
Questions or comments?
I have a question. For
Yes.
a grant like this from the Community Foundation, is there anything we can or should be doing to recognize them for that?
I did write a thank you card directly to, not the foundation, but the person who funds the foundation. They could give your information so you could thank them. So I've written a thank you card. I was also thinking we could put a plaque up by that furniture that we buy that would say, you know, funded by Fox River Community Foundation.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I see it says that Mr. Shuri does not want public recognition,
Mhm.
Right.
but you can recognize the community foundation.
Yes, so I think we should. And maybe we could submit on our website thanking them
Yeah.
when we get the furniture in with a nice picture of us all set up.
Krista, do we share this with anybody else besides?
No.
I wonder if this wouldn't be a good thing to share with like our municipal and park district
Oh,
partners.
the director's report?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
it's something to think about every now.
Sure.
It's very informative and it, anyway.
Okay.
Could put it on our website too.
Yeah.
I think that's always good. I don't think people, get the full weight of, what happens here with respect to the number of people that come through and the amount of books that are on file and all that. And door counts have always been suspect. Is there something that triggered the differential on this time?
How are they?
They've been off last couple months. I think it has something to do with the backup running. I think it's causing the database to get skewed somehow. However, it's happening at random times during the day where all of a sudden 500,000 people come through the door, apparently. So what I do is I break it up into, takes me a minute, but I make a bunch of sheets in a spreadsheet, and then what I do is I take out the obvious numbers that are obviously 500,000 people did not walk in or get sucked out. So I take those numbers out, and there actually seems to be pretty reasonable as to what we normally get and we have traditionally gotten in the past. And the two buildings kind of match. I know the one here is the one has been a bigger problem than the other one, but I'm not aware of what the problem is, but perhaps we maybe, the branch manager servers are going to be upgraded in the near future on our new hardware platform, so that might take care of the problem. But yeah, I think it's pretty accurate. I know that does not inspire confidence, but yeah, I do believe that they're fairly accurate.
Like you said.
I hope all of you get a chance, Craig Rapp, who's doing our strategic plan, sent you a SWOT survey. Hope you all had a chance to fill that out, and it reminded me that when I was filling it out, when I did all the stuff from the Kendall County News, I noticed that the Sandwich Library is there all the time, the Yorkville Library is there all the time, every library in the world is there all the time, and once in a great while we get something there. So I don't know what all of that's about, but that would be I think I put it in there of something we could work on, because you never have enough information out there. So I like the idea of putting that on. We can control our website.
Right.
So,
Okay,
okay,
absolutely.
thank you. Anything else? If not, could I have a motion to approve the director's report?
I'll make a motion to approve the director's report.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Anything else? Roll call.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Camblin,
Yes.
Walders,
Yes.
Conan, yes, Deal,
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Okay, we have, moving on to committee reports. We have a finance committee meeting tonight at March 18th, directly after this meeting, and thank you for telling us who's on the committee. Because we always seem to stumble over that, so that's good to know. The technology committee did meet in February. Pete, is there anything you would like to share about that meeting?
Well, I'll just say Bob did a great job of putting together a comprehensive plan for future improvements to the IT system, which I appreciated.
Thank you.
So, other than that, it's just a question of execution and also just monitoring to see when we might need to trigger certain things, like we mentioned specifically about the accounting software being something to be aware of. So, yeah, it was a good meeting. We had good dialogue, so thank you.
Very good. Okay, moving on, unfinished business, the social media policy.
So you had this for a first reading last month. As you can see, I sent our policy to the attorney, and he had a lot of suggested changes in red, a whole lot. So this is really, the reason we brought this up to be looked at was because there was some concern. Typically, if people put offensive stuff on our Facebook page, it's been being deleted. And we were not sure if it was actually correct that we could do that or not. Because, you know, FOIA, is that FOIA-able? So we wanted to check everything with the attorney. He does still keep a lot of the language about not being allowed to post threats or offensive comments or things like that in there. But, yeah, otherwise, all his comments are the red suggested changes that we would be voting on.
Did everyone have a chance to look at this? Because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it is interesting, looking at precedent, and how the, Supreme Court has legally boil down a lot of the stuff, and how hate speech is subjective. However, obscenity is prohibited, despite the fact that obscenity is hard to define. So, you know, kind of tiptoeing around, not tiptoeing around, but like carefully navigating the verbiage around what we're prohibiting and what's appropriate behavior is.
Right.
Yeah, I think, great on you for trying to get another version of this and another read of this through the lawyers, and probably a good idea to continually update that with some regularity, and especially as the language evolves, as it has been rapidly with technology evolving. I mean, the words that exist now because of technology that didn't exist 15 years ago allows for a lot more, well, it implies that we need to have a lot more of a supervision on that, so, yeah.
I will say we do not usually have issues with our social media accounts. It's very much like, you know, people talk about their favorite fantasy books, or, you know, I mean, every now and then we get something offensive, but it is not very common at all.
That's good.
Any other comments? If not, we've had a first reading, so could we have a motion on the social media policy, please?
Make a motion to approve the updates to the social media policy.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any other comments? Roll call, please, Kim?
Perkins,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Camplin,
Yes.
Wallers,
Yes.
Conan, yes, Deal.
Yes.
Okay, outreach vehicle.
On the last page of your packet, you'll see a picture. We did have, our marketing department actually had a professional photographer come and take a bunch of pictures that we can use for our announcements of the vehicle. We also just started a name this vehicle contest, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
It had like 100 submissions already, like
Cool.
crazy. So we're gonna have a lot of ideas, and I think choosing a name for it will be really fun. For the vehicle, we were talking about doing a ribbon cutting, and I think we settled on the 3 to 5 before our board meeting on April 22nd. We would have our outreach person there. People could walk in, walk out, tour the van, and then maybe right at 5, we would actually do like a ribbon cutting and a short ceremony or something right before the board meeting. That works for everybody.
Sounds like a great idea. Okay. Anything else, Kristen?
No, I don't think so.
So we're driving down the road. We went across the river, so we could come back across the river and park where we parked to go to the Paramount today, this afternoon. We drove past the Aurora Library, and there was their huge bookmobile.
Yeah.
And my wife took one look at it, and as we went up to the corner, she came up with a name for the deal that she will submit.
Okay.
So everybody should do that.
I will say, so we just got a license, and the license plate just came in the mail a couple days ago. You know, we had that big storm where they were calling for hail, and I reached out to the village, the school district, the park district, the village of Montgomery, anyone I could think of to see if we could park it inside, because I was very much afraid it would get dented from hail. And the school district was nice enough to rearrange one of their garages just to let us pull in for the night. And now we have rented a space at CubeSmart where they have RV parking. It's open air, but there's a big awning over it, so it's at least sheltered somewhat. And we'll keep it there until we find a more permanent location. The village of Montgomery has suggested they might have an old public works building that's empty right now that we could use.
Cool.
So I will talk to them more about that.
Did we get a vanity plate?
No, it's a class D, or they don't let you do vanity plates.
Read?
No, sorry.
Okay. Just a thought. All right. Outreach vehicle, new business.
Oh, do we need a motion?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sure. It's on there. 12B1, please.
Make a motion to set the ribbon cutting and public tour for Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, from 3 to 5 p.m.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments? Roll call, please, Jim.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wallers,
Yes.
Conan, yes, Deal,
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Now, new business, material selection policy discussion. Krista?
That is, if you guys would like to discuss material policy, we had it last reviewed and approved in 2023, May of 2023. And I know it's been recently discussed. I don't know if you want me to go over how it works currently, how we select the
Sure,
materials?
please.
Okay. For our, and I do actually have copies of the policy if you want to pass them around. Essentially, in our purchasing process, we have staff in each department review the journals that are expressly designed for purchasing books. There's a list of them in this policy. I believe it is page 5, appendix 1. These journals put together lists of books. They have summaries of them. They have recommended ages for them. Our staff review all the reviews. They consult multiple journals, and then they will put them in a cart to be purchased. After the staff member does that, it is reviewed by their supervisor, who double checks the materials that are being purchased. And once they're purchased, they go to our tech services department, who will catalog them. They will flag anything they think looks like it's not maybe going in the right place, or sometimes we get some accidental books where it's self-published and things are like misspelled on the title page. They'll flag anything like that, so it gets reviewed there again. And then after that, it would end up on our shelves. And that's essentially how the purchasing works at the library.
So the department heads select materials.
So individual staff members will select materials and put it in a cart.
Okay.
They'll read reviews from the different journals. There's like 5 or 6 different journals. Some are aimed at adult books, some are aimed at children's books. They'll read the reviews, and they will select and put in a cart, and then their supervisor reviews everything in the cart before it's purchased. Once it comes physically into the building, it goes to tech services, who catalogs it, and they will also pull things if they think it's either in the wrong section, or if it looks like it's not actually going to be a book we should own. Like I said, like some self-published stuff is, we've had lots of misspellings sometimes, and those do not usually make it on the shelf either.
So generally, any of the staff members could potentially add something to the cart that they wanted,
It
or?
is typically you're assigned certain collections, so everyone on staff is responsible for maintaining, for example, in the children's department, we have someone whose job it is to buy biographies.
Got it.
They will, that's the only thing that they're purchasing.
Each
And they,
staff member kind of stays in their own wheelhouse.
yes, and they also, they don't just purchase, they are, we consider them the caretakers.
Sure.
So they're looking for damaged items that will get removed and replaced if possible. Sometimes they're looking at how often things have been checked out. Things that don't circulate in fiction, especially if it hasn't circulated in a year or two, it's going to get removed just because we have such limited space and we're popular materials primarily.
Thank you for printing this out. And I know that it's on the website and I have looked over it, but I do like the tactile,
Print,
you
yes.
know, looking at it, making notes type of thing. Good to know. And these are the primary aids that you guys use, the periodicals and bibliographies.
Yes, the appendix 1 is your aids to selection. They are primarily, like I said, they all kind of have a different focus.
Sure.
School Library Journal is first going to be aimed at school children. Voya is also a youth journal.
Mhm.
Some of them are specifically for adult books.
Okay. And given that the people who are, the staff members that are, they have their area that they're kind of overseeing, the caretaker, you said,
Mhm.
those phrase, then they have a more intimate knowledge of the subject material that they're looking for and sort of the criteria that would describe these specific subjects, and they're more,
And typically, you're gonna, when you are ordering, it'll have like the blurbs from all the different publishers who have reviewed this book, or all the different journals that have reviewed it. So you can usually compare 2 or 3 different reviews and recommended age groups before you purchase. We have had some books that are recommended for like 11 to 13. Well, that's, you know, somewhere in between elementary and middle school, and typically the staff will email each other to discuss where they think it should go, and sometimes it's flagged as, we'd like to see it in person before we pick which
Okay.
department.
yeah, okay. And then, once that cart is compiled, then the head of the department has the ability to go through that cart and be like, veto,
Yeah,
if they want to.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What a question, like,
Yeah.
do we need more books on this topic?
Yeah,
Um,
do some fine tuning and digging in
Yeah.
and research on that stuff, and then, okay. Several levels of approval
Review,
before
yes.
it actually gets bought, okay. When we get money donated through memorials and gifts, are there sometimes stipulations for the types of materials that we have to purchase with that money, or is it just kind of?
They have suggested, on the form, it's a suggested topic, or if they have a specific title.
Sure.
And then it's the department head that usually will make the final decision and just see what our collection already has, and it's a specific topic.
Yeah.
But it's reviewed.
Cool.
I think some of the discussion that we've had about materials, I think the crux of the discussion is on page 1, 2, 3, 4. In the middle of that page, where it talks about the responsibility for materials selected for a child must rest with the parents or legal guardian. And that's where I think, I guess my feeling has always been that it's up to the parent to decide, not for me, or our board, or librarian, or someone else to decide. And that's why I think after talking to Julie, we put together a guide for parents, what they can do to hopefully have their child see the materials that they're comfortable with. So I think that's probably the area where concern has been expressed, and I think we try our best, but it still comes back to the parent having the ability to make the last final decision. But that's me.
And people are always welcome to send like a title if they're questioning where it's located. I mean, we're happy to review it, but we would need like a specific title to look at.
When somebody has a challenge to a book, there's a process.
Yep.
And as I recall, it kind of takes a long time. In the interim, do you remove it from the shelves? No.
Typically, I would say, like, we've had the official, like, residence request for reconsideration. It usually will get reviewed immediately by the library director. There have been some where it was like, well, this is obviously written for adults, you know, I mean, where it was just obvious that this should not be here. But if all the reviews are saying it's the right department, that's the right age level, it would then go to the committee for review, where it's the library director, a library board member, and the department head of that department would all review that same book and have a committee meeting to discuss if it should be moved to a different department or removed from the library.
And going forward, it shouldn't take as long as it has necessarily in the past, where we had staff changes and that type of thing. What would be typical for,
I would think 2 to 3 months would be a pretty reasonable amount of time. It would also depend on the
Depends on how
book, a
many
picture
books,
book,
Because
yeah,
they have to read all the books,
yeah.
so.
I think you and Terry read all the books last time.
Yes.
Any other comments?
Well, I'm just wondering, I don't have the answer to this, but it's more of a question. So do we think that if it takes 2 to 3 months, do we think is an option to, put temporarily remove it from circulation until the decision's made?
Well, the policy here, it's like the 3rd paragraph from the bottom. It does say no action will be taken until the director has the opportunity to examine the material in question. So we have typically not, again, unless it's one of those ones where when you open it up, it's plainly just been put in the wrong department.
Gotcha.
We don't typically remove them.
Okay. How often does a book get pulled?
Not very often. We've only had, I think, maybe 3 or 4 requests for reconsideration in the time I've worked at the library. I have had people make requests just not actually filling out the form for various things that they think should be removed. One person didn't think we should have dinosaur books, because dinosaurs didn't actually exist. Some people have just verbally said, I don't think you should have this, but they haven't all gone in and filled out these ones for the specific titles.
And then the parenting book or parenting advice brochure, where do you get that?
That they give out when people get new library cards, and it's also kept at the youth services desk. They have a materials folder that people can grab as well.
And that covers not only books, but social media too.
It covers our e-materials, and then also how to use the catalog to limit your search results to the departments that you're most interested in.
I feel like it's a good policy. I think that it really operates just on a good faith principle that the staff is going to do its best to maintain the safety and consideration of our patrons. And, yes, there is a human error in anything that we do. And if, a book is misplaced, it looks like there's a policy to correct that. I think that it's important that we maintain that, like, freedom is open, or information is openly accessible, and I mean, I've seen posts online, news articles about libraries in other districts in other parts of the United States where they come under fire and pressure for the materials that they have, and they've taken pretty drastic measures to kind of cover themselves and kind of make sure that they're not upsetting people, and, insofar as to even create like the adult section to be restricted to just adults, right? Like you have to be 18 and over in order to go into the adult section, which I think is a tragedy. I, as a kid, was reading, like Great Expectations in 6th grade and Lord of the Rings, and like those kids that are the voracious readers, they need access, and they won't access, and they should have it. Caveat being that it's really the parent, back to your point, really the parent's prerogative to make sure that they're checking out material that is appropriate for them. But also working with the library, that those things are placed in the right areas as well, and all of those things are working together for the benefit of patrons. So I think it's good policy as is, but I'd like to hear everybody else's opinions, and if we can keep discussing it and keep it on, keep it an open discussion going forward.
Well, the last time we did have a psychologist read all the books as well, and she wrote letters on her recommendations. So I tried to do due diligence to make sure that I had a professional opinion, not just my own. So.
You're talking about the books that were challenged, or that patrons have brought forward as having problems
Yes.
with their placement?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing too, I think, to make sure that we're getting a whole perspective. If we have all the different perspectives going into the decision-making process on evaluating those books, I think that's definitely a judicious way to go about it.
I'm always happy to look at like a specific title, but I have to have specific titles to look at.
Comments?
I'll keep talking to fill the space if you've got some.
Moving right along.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Thank you. There. Closed session, we do not need a
I
closed
think so
session.
now.
Okay. Nothing exciting happening. Board walkthrough for the Montgomery campus. We'll
And
see.
that was wrong. We did that in January.
Uh,
We just did it. I'm sorry, I put it on there.
It's okay.
It's not for
We
today.
need the steps. Okay, just upcoming scheduled meetings, April 22nd, 5:30 at Oswego campus, special meeting, strategic planning on the 22nd. We're gonna have a pared down agenda that evening because we will pay the bills, we'll do what we have to do, and then we're gonna begin our strategic planning session. And then we meet again the next evening, the 23rd. Both of these are at the Oswego campus at 5 o'clock, and we hope to wrap up our strategic planning at that time. Do we have staff coming?
Yes, the managers will be coming both nights.
Okay,
I will probably send out some sort of a lunch or dinner order where we'll get box dinners for everybody, maybe from Jimmy John's or something, just because a lot of the staff would not probably have time to take a normal lunch break.
okay. So staff will be there, everyone should have met Craig on the phone and also done the SWOT survey, and he'll come loaded for bear. And he was the fellow that worked with us last time, so we look forward to some good things happening and have a conversation.
I apologize, I won't be able to make the second night. I have a work commitment that has me in Rogers Park until 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And I don't know how I can get from there to Oswego that fast.
We'll check with the helicopter.
I'll see about expensive.
Okay. Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.